Hi and welcome to this week's video. Bit of an up and down week for me, but construction wise we've got a lot done. The wings are really coming along and looking like wings. We've got things coming together for fitting fuel tanks and quite a chunk happening as far as geodetics. So let's see what I've got on with. Come on now. Okay then, so off camera I've bonded in the uprights for anybody's interest. The outboard one, or one that's just inboard of the upright, the interplane strut mounting here. The outside edge of this vertical is at 68 inches, so that the compression member can go in between it and the plywood doubler for the interplane strut, and there's a little gap there, and the little gap is there for these pieces. I'm putting gussets in on the forward and rear sections for this compression member going across, because my only compression member is going across here, and if you actually work out the glue area of that bonding onto that in its crisscross format like that, we've got a quarter of a square inch, half inch by half inch, quarter square inch, where with this setup these are 2 inches long from there to there, so we've got 2 inches by half inch, so there's 1 square inch of glue face, and there's another inch of glue face. So that increases our glue joint area, just to make sure that these compression members are not going to come loose in any format. Well, they shouldn't do. Much less chance of them breaking away. And that's quite important on the grounds. It's quite a stress area with the interplane struts there. And I haven't got the one outboard. I made that decision earlier, as I've discussed with you. Saves a bit of weight. Okay, I'm adding a bit of weight, but I've saved the weight of that there because, well, I don't really have much choice. There's not enough material to make up another compression member for this bay. If you look here, that is how much leftover material I have. And there wasn't enough there to make up a additional compression member for the tank bay as shown on the drawing, but I did have enough W10 left over from the entry step here, the 1/2 by 3/4 inch, which is deeper, and as it's only going to be the only member going across the gap there to act for the tank floor, to support the tank floor bonded to it, that's nice and strong. But I've also made up vertical members to go in there, and for the rear going in there, and again there will be plywood gussets to help bond, to make sure that floor piece doesn't pull down under G with the weight of the tank. And the compression members going across here will have gussets on just the bottom compression member. Will have a gusset section going into there, again because you've got the weight of the tank trying to flex the tank bay floor, which is going to be attached to the compression member. So hey ho, I will get this little lot bonded together. First lot of geodetic in position, with the packers there ready for the geodetic going in the opposite direction, and if it doesn't cross immediately underneath at the same point, then I'll put a packing piece in, but I've got to leave the spacing so we can actually flex that enough for the other piece, even if it sits across here, otherwise it will end up with a kink in it. So if we had another piece of geodetic going across at that height there, it sits just right, so it can be glued to the compression member and to that will flex enough. If I didn't put that packing piece in, we'd end up putting a a serpentine bow in everything else here. So I'm just going to cut the geo going in the other direction, strip wood to make up that. So we've got not the outer bay, but 1, 2, 3, 4, and starting into the 5th bay here, and we'll be doing the same going the other way, just to give that a little bit of stiffness. Okay, so the second direction of geo is now in position. So we've just got the outer bays here to do to finish off the bottom end of the wing. On this wing, the starboard wing, I've got the rib doubler or stiffener bonded in. This is what actually acts a bit like a compression strut at the tip end, so I can now finish off the outer section here, and I'll put the top stiffener on this end, and that way I can then start bonding in the strip wood to make up the upper geodetic going across there. That'll make this wing stiffer. And on this one, so we've got both directions now in here. I'll bond in the lower rib stiffener, and then I can finish off that at the same time as I do the top side of the other wing. So I'll crack on with that. Well, look what we've got here in a nice box. A Hercules propeller, 60-inch by 32, made specifically to the requirements. Gave engine RPM, anticipated cruise speed, what engine it was going on to, and the guy who owns the company that makes these propellers, Rupert, said that this propeller that they've made up for me is the one for the Youngster, or suit the Youngster, because he's going to be running the same engine, or sorry, he runs the same engine in his biplane, which has got very similar performance and weight and cruise speed. So he said it'd be a perfect match. And look at the finish on it, fantastic. Brilliant example of British engineering. Because I had that lower rib stiffener in, I've glued in the last of the geodetic structure on the bottom outboard side. I've got the top rib stiffener bonding in, so that will hopefully allow me to put the geodetic in to the top here, build up that upper geodetic structure, make the wing stiff. And unfortunately, well, the way the whole week's gone really, bit of an issue with the camera, so missing the footage for the tank floor, or tank bay floor, cutting and marking out the plywood for that. This is 1/8 3-ply aircraft grade, and I've put a load of lightning holes in. That's subtracted a substantial amount of weight by doing that. It doesn't need to have a huge amount of rigidity because the tank's flat, so it's putting a load fairly evenly over the whole thing. And really the place where the load's going to be transferred out to the wing is along the edge through these compression members and well, beam members, and to a certain degree across the back and front section where it's going to be bonded to the spar, although it's just going to be a glue joint. There's not enough room to put a piece of wood into that, and along the line of the wing rib. So these are just being bonded on for the time being. There will be little plywood gussets on each end of that to help reinforce it going to the vertical members here and to a sunken vertical member which will be inside the spar web there for the outboard. Actual structure of the aircraft going well. I think these wings are progressing extremely fast at the moment. and partly that's due down to having the spars already made up before we started building the lower wing, so that seems to have made it appear to be jumping forward quite a chunk. And of course we had all the ribs built up as well, so hopefully not going to be too long before we have some full built upper wings. Anyway, that's me for the outro, I suppose. Next week the plan is upper geodetic, tank bays being built up to some degree, and possibly trailing edges. I think that's the sort of next section on my planned list to do. So keep well, catch you all next week. Bye now. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the thumbs up. You can subscribe or even hit the little bell notification for future videos. Any comments would be appreciated, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. Remember, go fly and feel the sky.